Hey everybody, how you doing? Long time no see. Las Vegas Collectibles. My name is Jonathan. So a couple things have happened, right? A while ago, eBay partnered with CSG to announce their authentication program, right? The authentication guarantee for all trading cards. And it wasn't just CSG. eBay was partnering with CGC for their trading cards. So that way you could do some TCGs and all sports cards, basically. There's limitations between them. Neither of those companies do any kind of comic-based cards like Marvel cards or anything like that. But so they announced that situation. And I put out a video immediately talking about what the future meant once that deal happened. That deal meant that you can see here at the bottom of the screen I have. So this is CGC's homepage, right? So if you just go to CGC's website, you go to the bottom. These are the brothers and sisters of CGC. These are all companies owned by, right here at the end, you'll see over here, I can't highlight it, but Certified Collectibles Group. That is the name of the parent company of all of these other companies. And so all these companies do different things. One of them being CSG. CSG, like I said, sports cards. CGC, comic book cards. I mean, these other companies, they do paper money, they do coins, they do stamps. They all do different kinds of things. But they're all these authenticity kind of companies. And so when eBay partnered and announced this partnership about authenticity guarantee, I stated, well, this is just the first step. Because they're going to connect with a company that offers these kind of services, this is just the test phase. And they're going to continue to do additional things. For instance, they're going to open up this relationship for authenticity guarantee to all their other brothers and sisters over here, right? CCS, NGC, NCS, ASG. I think CCS only does pressing, but I could be wrong about that. I don't want to make assumptions. But so once that relationship was established between eBay and CSG and CGC, it was clear as day, well, this is just step one. Right? Like they did with sneakers. I guess that was the real step one, right? And so this is just the testing phase for CCG, for all their related companies. And I stated in that original video that eBay wants to be the one-stop shop. They understand Amazon is there. Amazon, I believe, will always be there because eBay is not going to be a fulfillment center like Amazon. I don't think that's their intent. It could evolve into that at some point and be more of a direct competitor with Amazon when it comes to fulfillment. Maybe in like 10, 20 years, I guess it could evolve to that where they have their own fulfillment centers. And I'm talking about on the scale of Amazon. So like 10, 20 years from now, it's possible. I absolutely see that as being possible. But in that original video, I was saying, look, this is just the beginning. CSG is going to build off of this. The whole point is for both of these companies to grow. eBay is going to have a vaulting system. And I was under the impression, I believed they were going to absorb ComC. Either eBay was going to absorb ComC or CCG was going to absorb Certified Collectibles Group was going to absorb ComC. I thought that was honestly like the play. I did not think eBay was going to create their own vaulting service, which they did. However, eBay wants to be the one-stop shop as an entire industry of collectibles that we're all a part of. I was under the impression that it was pretty clear that the whole industry of collectibles, as we know it now, will no longer exist in about 50 years. I give it one generation. Right, so 30 to 40 years, at the height 50 years. Everything will be digital. Okay, there will still be paper. There will still be hard assets. There will still be collectibles, but those will be very minimal and not as sought after. They will still fetch a high price tag, and honestly, they'll probably fetch an extremely high price tag because they're handmade. However, the future is digital. I mean, let's all just stop playing. The future's digital. So, in order to shift an entire culture, in order to condition an entire culture, you have to do it slowly, right? You have to make incremental steps in the direction of your goal, right? Just one step in front of the other. You don't skip, you don't jump, you don't swim. You just one foot in front of the other until you get to where you're going. And so the creation of the vaulting system, which started not with eBay, started a long time ago. PWCC, I feel like, was the most well-known vaulting system, and then ComC and some of the other ones maybe. That was the first step in conditioning our current culture of physical assets into digital assets, where you can buy and sell physical assets without ever touching them, without ever seeing them, right? Because the company is saying, right, they're giving you their personal guarantee that, yes, we have this sticker in locker 214. Do you want us to move it into your locker 215? Right? Like, and you're like, yes. And you click a button and you're like, now I physically own that asset. Yet you've never touched it. You've never seen it. You don't even know if it's true. It's conditioning the culture for digital assets. That's all it is, right? The vaulting system is step one. And then, people will get stuff out of the vault, and so it gets mailed to them, or maybe something gets lost in the mail. Oh, well, we mailed it to you. Oh, it never showed up. Oh, right. Maybe they never had it in the first place. Anyways, so my prediction was that eBay wanted to be the one-stop shop for all collectibles. And so what did they need to do? They needed to set themselves up for success moving forward. How do they do that? They obviously partnered with a big name in the industry, a name with an actual reputation of quality, and that demands a higher price because of their quality. PSA, I get it. There's a bunch of fans out there. There's a bunch of PSA forever, all this crap. That thing is garbage. Okay, that's like saying that a McDonald's Big Mac is the best burger in the world. You've obviously have never had a steakhouse burger. Just go to your local best steak restaurant and ask them for a hamburger. I bet you that'll be one of the best burgers you've ever had. But then you're still like, no, McDonald's Big Mac is the best. No, bro, it's not. It's not. It is not the best. I think it's a great quality for the amount of money you're paying, but like it's a good value play, the Big Mac. But to say it's the best, get out of here. Get out of here. And PSA is the Big Mac. It's exactly what you expect it to be every time. It's a Big Mac. It's mass produced. It's extremely low quality in materials and ingredients, and it's well, right now it's extremely overpriced because of the backlog. But once the backlog's over, yeah, that price is going down to about $12 to $15, $8 probably, because you know what? That's the price of it, because that's the Big Mac. But that ain't your steakhouse burger, okay? Your steakhouse burger is CGC, okay? And I'm not going to name off my favorite burger joints, because that's not the point of this. Although I got a lot of good ones out here in Vegas, gotta tell you. Anyways, so my predictions was that CGC and CSG were going to kind of take over. The whole world is being conditioned into these digital assets only. They needed the vaulting system to take hold so that way they could do that, right? So the whole point is that you would buy something on eBay, have it, you can have one of two options. Well, no, one of three basically. One, you just buy it and it gets sent to you. If it's really expensive, it's going to go to CSG or CGC for authentication. In the future, it'll be all collectibles. So you see all their brother and sister companies out here. So if you're buying a stamp, if you're buying a gold coin, old paper money, it'll go to these companies first, get authenticity guaranteed, and put into a fancy envelope and then sent to your house. So you'll still have that physical option for physical items, right? That'll always be there. I don't want you to get me wrong. It'll always be there. But the path forward is digital, right? And so the evolutionary step of that, right? After the authenticity guarantee, okay, what else needs to happen? They need a vault, because there's going to be so many fees in the guarantee of the authenticity, right? Having to get shipped back and forth to CSG, CGC, to the buyer, to the seller, and then returned and blah, blah, blah. It's going to be moving too many times. How do you cut down on that cost? You have to vault it. So that, and you're going to vault it next to the authenticity guarantee place. I would. It would be dumb if it's, in Alaska and the authenticity people are all in Sarasota, Florida. Like, that doesn't make any sense. You should put it in Florida, as close to Sarasota as possible. So that way it's just going back and forth from the vault to the grading company. And then the next evolutionary step is that you start offering grading. So that way when you buy an item, you can have it authenticity guarantee and then sent to your house physically. Or you can buy an item and have them grade it, right? And of course they'll offer the option of a pre-screen grade, and and then after that, do you want to put in the vault or do you want that mailed to you, right? So that's your second option. And your third option is that you're going to be able to buy something, get it graded, put it in the vault, and then have it high-res image scanned right back into eBay. So it goes from locker 214 to locker 215 or whatever, right? They move the physical asset, save everybody a bunch of extra overhead from shipping and potential loss and potential damages and lost items and all this other crap. And so that's the next evolutionary step. I honestly thought they would come out with the grading services first before the vaulting services. And maybe they still will chronologically, but they've announced the vaulting service first. And so okay, so that was those are the other things. So what's the next? What are the other things I was talking about? The other thing I was talking about was Marvel cards. That's going to be the next step. They're going to start grading cards that they've been able to see in person through the authenticity guarantee program. And so they've gotten more exposure to these products. And so you're going to eventually see CGC. I believe it'll be CGC, but it could be CSG. I don't know. You'll eventually see one of these companies start grading Marvel cards, right? And that's going to open the door to all cards. And then they're going to go too far, right? And then they're going to have to start saying, hey, look, we can't grade the 1974 Marvel blah, blah, blah cards because there's too much fraud, or we can't tell if it's cut, and they're going to start doing all that stuff too. They're going to limit certain things. They already do that with certain sports cards like the Shaquille O'Neal ovations and stuff like that. But, so that's the next evolutionary step, right? So grading will come next. Be aware of this. Be prepared. And I said one of the things that they're going to have to change in order for everybody to buy in is make an effort on changing that label. And they did that today. So this is March 25th. They put out the announcement that they have changed their label. CSG no longer has that green label. That green label, as hideous as it might have been to everybody, is going to be one of the most valued assets moving forward in sports card grading slabs. You can have junk wax. You could have junk 1990s wax of no-name players in that green, if you have it in that green label. In 10 years, people are going to want that. Everybody wants what they can't have. And that label is going to be no longer in existence. People are going to want it. It was shiny. It was shiny. Don't forget that. It was shiny. Now let's look at the new. So you see down here, they haven't changed it yet, right? And they haven't changed it on the sister websites. Okay, so here you see it's still that neon green, right? Look what they did to their website. It's all black and white. You see this? It's all black and white up here. Where'd all the green go? Green's gone. The green is gone from their website. Look at this. Look at the images of their old CSG slabs. This is great. And then the new one. So this is the new CSG slab. I can understand if a lot of people think it's kind of boring. I can understand that. Now, this slab is not from my understanding and from my research, this is not a black mat. It could be. Okay, it could be. It's still see-through. It's still crystal see-through. You see right here? It's still crystal see-through. And this plastic, if you ever see this plastic in person, ooh, it's like glass. It's beautiful, beautiful case. And so this is see-through. Okay, so don't think SGC tuxedo time when you see this. This is just, they happen to have a black background. It's see-through and it is beautiful and it's proportion. Okay, so everything else is the same. The case is the same. The proportions are the same. So you see the space above the label and below the label, those are equal. The space from the left margin and the right margin, those are equal. So it has uniformity. You know, it's pleasing to the eye. And the fact that it doesn't have the bright green, it helps because it's black and white. Yes, it's a stark contrast, and I would have preferred, instead of the white, for it to be kind of like maybe a gradient, you know, maybe some kind of gradient, so that way it's not so stark. However, if you're going to be a stark contrast, black and white is the best because it allows the color and the imagery of the card to stand out. So the card still takes precedent. They put a little bit of the gold. You see CSG is now gold. Down here, CCS was kind of like this gold, right? If you go back to the CGC website, it was this neon green. Now, I'm assuming it'll be gold. It could be white, like with a black background, but I believe that this gold imagery is it. That's the new situation. So yeah, so this is it. So now they had to change the label to get people's buy-in, and they did it. They freaking did it. They changed the label, and it is absolutely beautiful. And the best thing about it is they make it sound like they did a bunch of stuff, right? Look at the most advanced archival materials for the best in display and protection. By the way, it is the best. Okay, everybody needs to just calm down. It's the best. Okay, and then it talks about all these other things, and ultrasonic welded case, resists impacts and tampering, blah blah blah. Yeah, right. You know, all cases are ultrasonic welded and all this stuff, but they talk about all these things. Oh, hold on. I did not know this. I knew this for CGC. I wasn't sure if it was CGC, but yes, if you get a perfect gem mint 10, it provides. Now, it has to be perfect gem mint 10 plus the edges, the corners, the surface, and the centering all have to be 10. If it is, you get free subgrades. It's kind of cool. And at first I wasn't a big believer in that, but now I am because I went through personal experience. I think it's pretty awesome. So here you go. This is the back of the label. There's your autograph. Your autograph grade is on the back. It's not on the front. So the front is consistent between cards. So you can have, you know, you're not going to have like on PSA where it says auto 10 on the front, but then it's all clustered because they're trying to pack in too much language into one label on the front. So the front of every single label should be the same. Where they position the 10, the font, the type size, everything should be the same. And they just put if there's an autograph and you ask for it to be graded, it goes on the back. Additionally, it has a QRC code, it has a barcode, and it has the hologram for, you know, so you know it's authentic and all that. Absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. So they changed. Let me know what you think about it. I think this is perfect. I think this is okay. I don't think it's perfect. I think it's an extremely beautiful label that does not take away from the whole point of grading a card. The whole point of grading a card is to encapsulate and preserve and to provide some kind of numerical value to a card. Right? That's all it is. It's here to protect this Tom Brady card. Primarily, that's it. Secondarily, it's to be able to assign a value to it, right? For it to be compared amongst all of its peers and to be determined whether or not it is one of the best versions of this card or one of the worst versions of this card. So that way you can provide a numerical value to it. But the true purpose of all this is to protect it forever. And when you protect it and you want to display it and you want to show it off, you don't want the label taking away from the substance of the card, of the reason you have this, right? The reason you have this is for this card. And so this label provides that opportunity. So I think it's a beautiful label. I don't think it's the best, but I do appreciate their effort. And as long as they can remain consistent in the grading. Now, again, they put out a new label. They're putting out new grading standards. All right. They don't really talk a lot about it. They don't talk a lot about it. But there's a perfect 10. So that's the highest you can get. Gem mint, mint plus, mint, near mint plus, near mint, blah, blah, blah. It goes on. And it tries to explain how they get to that point. So, it's under 10 times magnification. All cards that merit this perfect 10 receive subgrades by default, right? Now, the subgrades by default with no special request is only for those perfect 10s, not the gem mint 10s, right? It doesn't say that you're going to get those free subgrades, right? But everything's under 10 times magnification. 9.5, it's mint to the naked eye, right? So at least they clearly state what each one means, right? And what every grade means for our autographs and everything. So they clearly state it. However, this new system, this new label, this new grading process, they're going to lower the standards. You're going to see a lot more 10s by CSG than you used to, because there's 2 10s before. So if you have a green label 10 right now, if you have a green label 10, it might be a perfect 10. It might be, but you don't know. Nobody knows. You might. I don't believe the green label said perfect, from my understanding. I could be completely wrong. But even if that's the case, because they're lowering the standards, look, there's no official post or bulletin saying they're lowering the standards, right? This is just me based off of my comic book experience that they're lowering the standards. They're preparing for an uptick in volume, an uptick in demand. And they're going to, look, if you go to a show and drop off your cards to a CSG or CGC rep for trading cards, you get a 2-week turnaround time. 2 weeks, no matter the size. I just submitted a $2,000 submission. I want to say, I believe the number was 160 cards. 160 cards. Now, unfortunately, I wasn't allowed into the Mint Collective. This is Friday. I'm gone this weekend, so I can't go in person. And the only way they would have let me in is if I paid $700. No. I'll get a flat rate box and put all the cards in that flat rate box and send it for less than $20 with $500 insurance. Thank you very much. I'm not paying $700 to submit some cards. So, pay more than that on 160, don't get me wrong. But in addition to that, imagine if you had to spread out $700 of extra cost amongst your graded cards. That's ridiculous. So I wasn't able to do that today. However, I did submit them today. Right after this news broke about the new label, I sent off 160 cards. We're going to see what this new label looks like. We're going to see how many 10s I get, how many perfect 10s I get, and how many other crappy grades I get. Because in this lot, there are cards that are probably going to grade 5. I hope not a 4, but potentially a 4. And anything in between all the way up to a perfect 10. So we'll end up seeing what I get out of this. Magnification of 10 times is pretty strong. So I don't know if I'll get any perfect 10s. But we'll see what ends up happening. So just a real quick recap, because I know that was a lot. eBay partnered. No. That's not even the beginning of this. The beginning of all of this. I pulled this up for this reason, to show you. The beginning of all of this was July 1st, 2021. And I don't think this was the actual purchase date, but this is when this article came out. When Blackstone purchased CCG. This is last year, right? This is like 8-9 months ago. Blackstone purchased CCG and used its connections and its business world know-how and everything else to develop their partnerships with everybody else. One of the owners of Blackstone is the owner of Fanatics, who hired Josh Luber, right? Like, so Blackstone is the owning company of CCG. An owner of Blackstone owns Fanatics. When that happened, when Fanatics came on board recently, almost immediately they partnered with eBay. Almost immediately. All of a sudden, eBay has this authenticity guarantee program. Because Blackstone bought CCG, all these other things started happening. And it's just the beginning. Blackstone wants CCG to be extremely huge. They want them to be everywhere. And this is when it started. And when I put out that video that this relationship was going to build, I meant it. This is just the beginning. Soon you're going to be able to buy a card from eBay, send it to CSG or CGC for grading, put it in a vault, and then they're going to do a high-res image scan of it, put it on eBay. They're going to submit it to your account so that way you have a posting. Or they're going to have their own marketplace, like that's like vault marketplace, where it's like all the items in their vault. So like you could sort and filter collectibles in vaults, like one of the filtering things. And you're going to be able to buy those items and put them into your own personal vault. And you'll never see them again. And that's the beginning of a digital collectible world. That's where it's all headed. Okay, so don't forget that. I'm investing in Blackstone. I put out a while ago, I think once eBay made the partnership with CSG and CGC and CCG, I was like, this is going to be amazing. Boom. I bought some stocks. The stock market was pretty volatile, so I sold once I got 10%. However, I'm going to be buying more. I believe in this company. I believe in their relationships, their business, networking, and I think it's going to continue to grow. I think PSA is going to be screwed. I think Beckett's screwed, and everything else is just screwed. This is the future. This is it. You're witnessing it. We're all witnessing this. And I hope you can take this information. Yeah, I'm biased. I'm not going to apologize for it. We're all biased, right? When you order pizza, I'm sure you have your favorite pizza place to deliver to you because you're biased. It's not that other pizza companies don't make a good product. It's not that there's other companies out there you've never tried before and might make even a better pizza than the one that you like, but you're biased. I'm biased. I think this is the number one company. And I think because of these relationships with Blackstone and Fanatics and eBay, who now has a vaulting service, I think it's game over. So do everything you can to get some green labels, because the old CSG green labels are going to be worth money in the future. Definitely, if you have expendable cash, I think you could definitely make 10% or more on your money for every green slab that you have. If you buy it now, just put it away. Just put it away. It'll increase in value 10% each year. That's my expectation. Obviously, do your best to get a name brand player, right? Don't just buy some random player. However, even those cards will be worth more than they are now, which they're probably worth only like $5. So 10% on that is 50 cents, by the way. So it's not like if you buy a $5 slab, it's going to go to $1 million. No, but expect 10% to grow in the simple fact that it has a green label. So that's my information. That's my recommendations. I wish you all nothing but the best. Have a great night, and I'll talk to you soon.